there. And if you've not watched any of my videos yet, I'll just introduce myself quickly for those of you who may not know who I am. My name is Penny Dix. My background is in psychotherapy, counseling, life coaching, many other things, and astrology. And this morning, I thought it'd be really interesting to talk about parenting our inner unsupervised child. And I came up with this idea because I'd been kind of joking with some friends about sometimes I seem to be behaving like an unsupervised child. And it made me think about lockdown and its effects, because I've spent a bit of time talking about a more cognitive approach to managing anxiety, panic, etc. And I thought it might be more interesting as well just to have a look at how this is affecting us all, because how have you been behaving? How have you been handling your behavior around, say, the fridge or the wine cellar? Because I think there's a sense of us letting everything go in this situation, because really we're being very rebellious. We're rebellious and angry against being grounded by planet Earth. And so what we tend to do is take it out on ourselves, which is not necessarily helpful. If you're sharing your lockdown space with others, family members, etc., then you may also be taking it out on each other. But if you are raiding the fridge, drinking too much, and being, as I put it, completely unsupervised, then you have to think, how is this serving you? How is this serving you as a person? How is it helping you manage what could be a bit of time that we're doing this? Because awareness is the key to everything. And I think once we become aware that we are behaving in one sense a bit like an unsupervised child, as I like to put it, we then become aware that everything has a price. Everything has a price tag. If we are out of control around our management with food or alcohol or money, maybe online shopping, then, that's going to hurt us in our wallets. It's going to hurt us in our health. It's going to hurt us with maybe gaining weight, our mental health. And so what I came up with is that the grounding that planet Earth has imposed upon us, it's a bit like she sent us all off to the naughty chair, and we've got to stay there until we learn to treat her better. Well, maybe it's also about planet Earth saying, and while you're there on that naughty chair, perhaps you could all treat yourselves a bit better and each other, because, there's been a lot of kind of competition and greed in general in the world. How does this serve our planet? How does it serve us as individuals? So I have in the past talked a little bit about the practical stuff. For instance, making sure you have an organized routine. Just simple things like making the bed in the morning when you get out of it makes a huge difference. And there are plenty of people who have been doing videos and talks about all the practical considerations you can make to being confined. But what about our inner anxieties and fears? What about all the questions that we have that have no answers? What about how we can leapfrog into the future and ruminate on the what ifs, what can happen, what might happen? And this will fire up our anxieties. I wonder how we're all sleeping. I noticed a comment on one of the groups that I follow by someone, not about anything I've been talking about, but this person was just saying, how are people sleeping? And how is it affecting your dream world, this enforced grounding that we're experiencing? Are you having kind of unsettling or unrestful dreams? Because the unconscious when we're sleeping is going to reflect our inner anxieties and what's going on to us during the daytime. And so if we're not getting restful sleep, then that also does not help us. I mean, I've noticed with myself that even though I'm sleeping, I tend to wake early, and I'm finding it quite hard to manage that, to kind of really encourage myself to get back for some more quality sleep. Because if we're not sleeping well, and I know for me, if I'm not sleeping well, I just really can't manage the next day. I can't get my head round anything. And that's when it's much more likely that we fall into this, what I call inner unsupervised child, who just thinks, what's it doesn't matter. What's the point? I'll just have that piece of cake, or whatever it is that we choose to, in a sense, not help ourselves with. So being aware of the dreams, I think, and whether they are reflecting what's happening to us, can be in some ways helpful. Because, I've noticed myself, I've had dreams of hand washing. And I thought perhaps I'd been cast in Macbeth, and I was Lady Macbeth going out, out, damned spot, after the murder has taken place. And this preys on us, this kind of, we're being so regimented with our best interests at heart, about hand washing and hygiene and taking care of ourselves. But, if we don't learn from all of this, if we could learn to take advantage of the fact that we are grounded, that we are in lockdown, that Mother Earth is saying, listen, guys, you've not actually been very kind to me over the last few generations. And I'd just like you to sit around and think about it for a while. Look how you can be kinder to yourselves and also be kinder to others. So, and if we don't learn from it, nature has a funny way of repeating itself until we get the message. So you have to, again, I think, look at when you get stuck in the future, because we do tend to leap ahead into the future, especially in the middle of the night when we start worrying about all the things that could, the what ifs. I woke up in the night last night and had a bit of a dry cough and went into a few minutes of panic, as I'm sure we all do now, thinking, what if? What if that's it? What if I've got it? What should I do? Should I go and take my temperature? And then I thought, you know what? I've been asleep on my back. Maybe my throat's just dry. Maybe I should just have some water and it'll probably stop, which of course it did. So, I say these things to show you that, I fall foul of all these things too. That's how I come up with these ideas of unsupervised inner children, because I'm a terrible unsupervised child. I've probably been an unsupervised child most of my life. And what I'm finding through this kind of, enforced lockdown and grounding is that somehow what I've done is I'm switching it. I've decided for myself, I'm not going to continue doing what I used to do or the way I used to live and the way I used to behave. I really want to use this time to work on changing it. I may not get it right all of the time because, we're all allowed to fail. We do fail. We're human. But to the best of my ability, I'm going to try and learn about how I can look after myself far better than I probably have most of my life, and really, really turn this around for myself. So that's what I wanted to give you today, to see this as a great opportunity to really become much more aware of this inner child in you that goes, well, hey, let's play, let's watch all the films, let's play all the games, let's, eat the contents of the fridge. That doesn't serve you well. You have to sort of, it's like, I will say every morning when I wake up to the universe, how may I serve you today? And maybe within your own religious denominations and backgrounds, you may also say the same to your God, to her or him, how may I serve you today? And the wonderful thing I've discovered about the universe is when you ask how you may serve the universe, then the universe usually answers and says, and how may I serve you? But in that, I have to make sure I do my part. You know, the universe can't work miracles with me. I've actually got to do something to help that along the way. So it led me also to thinking that I've noticed a lovely warmth of expression and support that people are showing as many people are moving out of this area of competition, of competing with each other, which I think has been one of the biggest downfalls that we've all got into. I know it's natural to compete, but is it that healthy? Because competition serves no one. It serves the self. Now, we can serve ourselves by serving others. So if we help others rise up, then in turn, we rise up. And I think for me, that's one of the biggest messages of what our lovely planet is trying to teach us at the moment, is that please, she's saying, serve me well, and I will serve you well. So that's all I'm going to say today. Thank you so much again for joining me. Thank you for the amazing support and wonderful comments and the shares and the likes. It really doesn't go unnoticed, and it really goes appreciated. And tomorrow, in the next one, will be what I call my cozy fireside chat. And I'm going to talk about something, again, perhaps a little bit more philosophical, to get us to sort of look at the bigger picture in a slightly different way. And I hope you'll be able to join me for that. If you can't join me at 4:00 Central European time tomorrow, then they're always available on my Facebook page or via my website. So for today, God bless you all. Think about how you can serve yourself well and others today. And thank you. Bye for now.